Good morning. Welcome everybody to the October 9th Wright County Board of Commissioners. It is 9 o'clock. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everybody. We have some very important people today in here. This is wonderful. Minutes from County Board meeting of September 25th, 2018.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 25th.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Batch, second by Commissioner Potter. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Review and approval of the agenda. Does anybody have anything they needed to add or change?
There's one.
If I could please petition the board to pull my board leave personnel regarding military leave and
Okay. Anybody else have any changes? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
With that change, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Burrell, second by Commissioner Houston. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Is there anything that anybody else would like to have pulled from the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I would like under Administration, Budget Committee of the Whole, dated August 22nd. I just have a very small point of clarification, but I'd like to make a clarification.
Okay. So we'll pull just August 22nd.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything else?
Mr. Chair, with the item that was petitioned to be pulled from consent, does that include the IT specialist position?
I believe not. That is strictly for the,
Mr. Chair, I believe the item was E, the refer to Personnel Committee long-term military leave.
Correct.
Right.
And I just wonder, if not, I'd also like to pull the informational specialist, system specialist position replacement.
Okay.
so A, so DA.
DA. D1A.
Do you want, there you go.
Okay, so we have three things we're pulling.
Okay.
Anything else from anybody? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Vetch. Any other discussions? Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Commissioner Houston.
Under, on the first page of August 22nd, Budget Committee of the Whole, under County Board, it would be the, actually the fourth sentence down. It said there was discussion with regards to mileage reimbursement that the board members received to travel to and from their place of work, the government center. Board feels that their primary place of business is their home, not at the government center. Staff will work on a policy to address commissioners' mileage reimbursement. No changes were made to the budget. I guess I didn't really recall that we said that our primary place of work was at our home, but did I, unless I missed that for in others.
I think it's the discussion, because there's some, as far as where you declare your place of work and where you're claiming mileage is kind of where that
Right.
rub comes in. Yep, starting point.
Right. Yeah, because certainly if we're going to a meeting in Brainerd or whatever, my starting point is from my home. However, I guess I still feel that my primary place of work is here. Like I said, it's not a big point, but it'd be nice to clarify that this is really our
I think it was mostly the discussion point kind of ran went around the fact that I think everybody's claiming mileage when they go to Brainerd or any place else. Uniformly, all the mileage is gone from our individual homes and
Right.
not from here.
So, okay, well, I mean, that's fine. I guess I don't feel that's my primary place of business, but if it's, we're strictly speaking in terms of mileage, then that's fine.
And that's right. It's I think it's just speaking from the terms of mileage.
Okay. It's not a big deal, I just,
Okay, I guess,
want
Mr. Chair,
clarification.
sorry, Commissioner.
No.
I was just wondering then if there's a recommended change in the language. I mean, we could, to make it more general, just say strike the AK Government Center and take out that next sentence, because we are working on a Commissioner's Handbook, which will have some discussion in there about mileage. There will be further discussion, so maybe we leave it a little more open-ended.
Reimbursement board members.
That would take care of it.
I'm up for whatever the board
Yeah, and that's
feels
fine.
is
And if
appropriate.
the
You could
other
just take out that
commissioners-
whole
They
sentence.
take out the whole sentence, strike it?
Yep, and then just go before, but the, place of work, AK, just have it, there was discussion regarding the mileage reimbursement that the board members receive to travel to and from their place of work, period. And then
Strike the next
you
sentence.
strike the next sentence, yep.
Just strike the next sentence.
Just because, I mean,
Right.
I don't think we really had a definitive answer on that as far
No,
as
we
the board.
we didn't, and that's what was that's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
That was over a month ago. I can't remember that one far back.
I just didn't remember that, being,
Okay, so that one got pulled. Can I have a motion to accept that with the changes?
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to accept the consent agenda as, or accept the minutes of that, and therefore the rest of the consent agenda.
Didn't Mike have something else?
We have all those other poll items.
Oh, I'm
Are we
sorry.
just approving this individual one, or?
Yes.
Individual,
Correct.
yep.
Okay, so the October 22nd committee, of the whole
Yes.
minutes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Houston, second by Commissioner Burrell for changes in the August 22nd. Is there any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Commissioner Potter, item D, Information System Specialist.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. In regards to position replacement, since we have a person out on military leave, and we're going to be discussing this momentarily with that, I would think that it would be prudent upon us to have this referred to the Personnel Committee on how this works, because we don't know how long that person's going to be out on military leave, and when that person's there, we don't have an FTA assigned to it. And it would be more consistent through the organization, because if you recall, the Highway Department had to go through Personnel Committee to get somebody on a temporary replacement basis already.
You're talking about the long-term military leave.
Yeah, but it's the IT system specialist, the position.
It's actually
Two items.
positions.
two of them.
Item 1A. The military is another.
Okay, I was under the impression the system specialist was one and the same person.
Same position, but it's two different.
Okay. So is that clear as the crow?
So you just want to leave that deal, the item D alone then?
Yeah, if that's the case, just to make sure it's clear on which one's which here,
Okay.
because since there is two positions, and reading this, it looks like it's one and the same. Okay, with that, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the item D1A, the Information Specialist, System Specialist, to go forward.
Okay.
Second that?
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Vetch. Any other discussions regarding that one? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Okay, now to item E1, long-term military leave.
Mr. Chair, do you want to address that now, or do you want to put it as timed, just the first thing, just logistically?
We have to still approve the consent agenda as a whole at this point. or-
No,
No,
we
we did,
already
yeah, we did that, that's
It wasn't
right.
done, you just
Yeah, we
have
did
this
that.
item that was left out, so. You could
We
do it
don't have
now, or
a lot
wherever
of
you
time.
decide.
We've got a lot of people here waiting.
Up to you. Like,
You think it'll be long here, or?
Well, what do you have to say about it? Okay,
Yeah, I have to address up here.
all right, time's up.
Okay, so it's approved?
Good morning, Commissioners. As we discussed at our Health and Human Service Board meeting yesterday, we have one employee that has been out on military leave. We've been utilizing an employee through Robert Half and paying that contract rate. We received notification on the 27th of September that the same employee would be going out for another 1 year of military leave. We would like approval to hire for that position as a Wright County employee instead of actually paying Robert Half. Through the return of the person on military leave, which again will be about 1 year, and absorb the position through attrition, whatever positions are available at that point in time next year.
Commissioner Potter, you had stated something earlier.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this is that one question from before, and thank you for allowing me to speak. This is one that, since we did this once for highway personnel position, this is one I think should go through personnel. It'll only be another, week and a half or whatever, but just to make sure we're being consistent and fair with all departments here. And that's what I'm getting at is we made the highway go through, jump through all the hoops for it. I mean, I'm not against that position, but it should go through personnel first, just because it is kind of a unique anomaly. And my understanding is that HR does not have and has not seen the contract with Robert Half. And I believe they should at least be aware of what's going on and how that works with you. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion to refer this position request to the Personnel Committee.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that with a little discussion. Yeah, you were at your other meeting yesterday, Commissioner Potter. We had a long discussion about this, and all of us are in favor of moving forward. However, we felt that I felt too that it would be good to, that was my initial thought, go through the Personnel Committee, even though it would be a bit of a delay and they've already been waiting for a while. But just to follow our standard procedures, because it's just fair for other departments not to vary from these as much as we like to say yes, but.
And we certainly understand. We had notified HR on the 27th that we had, because there was no board meeting on October 2nd, to refer it to tomorrow's personnel. We had hoped to present it yesterday and add it to tomorrow's agenda, but that was not an option for us. So
There is no personnel meetings tomorrow.
As it turns out.
But there could have been there.
Well, the problem was not having a board meeting last week. So anyway, we have a motion by Commissioner Potter, seconded by Commissioner Houston. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you. Sheriff Hagerty. Sorry to make you wait. Well, actually, not so bad about you. It's all their other important people out there.
That's no problem. Good morning, Board, Chair, staff. Thanks for allowing us a couple minutes of time. We'll be fairly brief unless Steve goes on and on and on, which we'll know soon. It's been my pleasure to work with Steve Berg since he came to county government. He's been involved in the county with public safety for 41 years, and he plans on continuing that. So you'll still see him around. But emergency management and government frequently falls on the public works director, city or county administrator, fire police chief, and or the sheriff. That's fairly common in the state, probably around the nation. Often we don't spend much time on this topic until an event occurs, usually a loss of utilities such as power, gas, or a severe weather incident. Many take for granted that when there is a crisis, someone will respond and fix things. As Steve often tells us, the time to exchange business cards and make contacts isn't at the scene of a crisis, rather during the planning process. The planning process is an opportunity for all responders and coordinators to know each other, learn capabilities and resources. Wright County has certainly been in good hands under Steve's leadership. Wright County cities and townships trust his guidance and expertise in the ever-evolving field of emergency management. His community outreach in facilitating and participating in countless mock crashes, conducting at area high schools, severe weather training, community responder training, among other ventures, has really contributed to safety preparedness in Wright County. I sincerely feel Wright County is a safer place to reside due to the efforts of Steve Berg, his staff, and I thank him. With that, we do have a plaque with our logo on it and the county's logo, presented to Steve Berg for your 12 years of service to Wright County Sheriff's Office and over 41 years to emergency medical services.
The guys from the Chiefs Association and EMS wouldn't believe that I have nothing to say.
Yeah, right.
Kind of overwhelming and very humbling. You know, this wasn't a one-man deal. The support that I got from the Sheriff's Office and from all the county departments and staff was unbelievable. It was kind of a new venture in a way. When we started emergency management here, there really wasn't a full-time person, so this was the first time we had a full-time emergency manager in the county. And the support I got from Sheriff Miller and Sheriff Haggerty, and like I say, all the staff there was unbelievable. And you know, like I say, it's not a one-man thing. Without that support, I couldn't have done the things we did. Like I said, like Sheriff Haggerty said, I'm still going to be in first response. I'm still going to continue to work for Alina on medic trucks because it's just hard to walk away from this stuff. So I can't thank you all enough for this. Appreciate it.
This is a
Picture?
Can we get a photo with?
yes.
Sure.
Everybody have a road?
You got it.
Are you going to be around, Steve, this week when it's flooding?
One more. Charlie, get back here.
Mr. Chair, can I say a word?
Yeah, hurry up before Steve runs away.
Steve, before you head out, I just wanted to thank you too. We had a gas main that got cut down in our Montrose Waverly area, and I went down to the command center, and I think Steve was there for about a day and a half straight, making sure that the gas got shut off and reconnected at the right time. It went off without a hitch. There was emergency housing, you know, it's where they could go to, people could go into a warm place because it was cold. They had the Howard Lake school set up for that. It was just, everything was taken care of. So, I mean, that's what it's all about, and it just did a great job for us down there. I know that time in particular. No explosions when they were turning stuff back on or anything.
So. And Mr. Chair, another episode that was recent is the main transmission line going through St. Michael that went down. Steve was there for a long time trying to figure out why they tried to dispatch a group out of North Dakota, was it? South Dakota. When they're all sitting in Maple Grove waiting for the call. It's like, okay, XL, what's going on here? But thank you for that too.
They did have a sign outside my office that said meteorologist Steve because I sent out weather reports. But I think the new term was going to be massive disaster.
Thank you, Steve. Now for another very important person, Eileen Otto from 4-H. And you were unable to make the meeting on the 25th. And actually, this is even better because this week is actually National 4-H Week.
Yes, that's correct.
So this is actually better timing.
Yes. I apologize for not being able to make the last meeting. I was homesick from school, but I'm here now. So my name is Eileen Otto. I'm a member of the Willing Workers 4-H Club here in Wright County in Delano, and I'm also a Minnesota State 4-H Ambassador. And so as I look back, it's National 4-H Week, and as I look back about especially how Wright County 4-H has impacted me, I just wanted to share some highlights of how great it's been. And those two main things for me have been leadership and communication. In terms of communication, I've been doing demonstrations, so where you stand in front of a judge and talk to people about how you, I don't know, 3 easy ways to make popcorn or something like that. And so ever since I've been doing those, since I was about like my 11 years in 4-H, so 5 years old, I have been going from those little demonstrations to winning purple ribbons at the state fair. And being able to stand in front of people like you and people, my peers, and also in front of people like the Minnesota State Fair Board, be able to talk with ease is one of the best things that Minnesota 4-H has given me. And on top of that, there's also leadership opportunities. We run a lot of day camps and residence camps, and I've been a county ambassador and a camp counselor for both of those occasions. And so Wright County 4-H is great, and National 4-H Week is one of the best times to recruit new members and also celebrate the members that we have. 4-H in Wright County has also been here for about 100 years. This is our centennial year, and so I have a video as well to show you.
Wright County 4-H is a place where our youth can develop lifelong friendships, lifelong skills, and leadership ability that's going to prepare them to be the leaders of our future.
I absolutely fell in love with 4-H right away.
4-H, it's just really fun to be in. Wright County 4-H is really about the opportunity. I mean, the opportunity to learn something, or the opportunity to, discover something about yourself, and the opportunity to make friends.
4-H isn't just for farm kids. Anybody can join.
No matter who you are, and no matter what you want to be in life, there's a place for you to find that.
There's so much you can do that one of the things is going to stick and going to be a good fit for you.
4-H really did just help me discover that I really enjoy photography. And that's just fun to experiment and see what you're good at, what you're not good at. You can definitely be yourself in 4-H because there's so many different areas that you can be in, like that you'll make new friends right away. You'll find people with common interests.
Those friendships are going to last your whole lifetime.
My husband and I are both 4-Hers, and a lot of lifelong friends we've met, and we still keep in contact with.
4-H is where all of my friendships built from.
Oh, I've made a ton of friends in 4-H. It's like in different areas too, like it's great.
We got our kids involved in 4-H because it was something we could do as a family.
I kind of found that it helps me with my relationship with my mom and dad because it gives me something I can do with them that they actually really enjoy.
The thing that 4-H offers that I've seen in no other youth organization is leadership skills.
Leadership, organizational skills, putting a project together, just that confidence of being up in front of people. So I think all of those things that I learned, I still, use today.
4-H has taught me so many things. It opens up your eyes to new experiences, and there's thousands of things you can do that expand that in 4-H.
I've really learned how to, figure out something that I want to do and go for it. And I mean, do it and follow it through and learn from it, and kind of just like that pattern of completing something that you want to do and kind of like achieving it.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend 4-H to other people. It's a great thing to get into.
I've learned so much from 4-H, and I mean, a lot of just kind of who I am as a person, and like a lot of the traits and the things I care about are developed from 4-H.
I would be a completely different person without it.
It's a great organization, and I'm excited to see 4-H still vibrant here in Wright County.
Every corner of the world that you touch, you should change someone. And so this is my corner of the world. This is where I'm going to change somebody, right here where I grew up.
When I look at my kids and the other 4-Hers, I mean, they know what it's like to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And they know that it's meaningful, and it brings benefits to them. That's what 4-H will do.
Goldberg, I thought it was just studying a man who invented stuff, but then I heard it was making stuff.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Thank you for your support of 4-H and declaring this National 4-H Week.
Thank you. Hang on, Eileen.
Yeah,
any
Charlie
questions?
has. I saw in the video the oldest 4-H in Wright County. What group was that?
Sunrise.
Sunrise.
Sunrise 4-H Club.
Out of where? Oh, okay. Cool.
Was that the one that you started, Charlie?
No. No. Mike was our 4-H guy on the board here.
Hey, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Eileen, thank you for the work you do on behalf of 4-H, and as a 4-H alumni in there, I have my sign proudly displayed in my front yard at the road, and a couple people come up and ask, what is 4-H? Yeah. Some people don't even know what it is. So that's the message getting out there, and so it's thanks for the support. You know, Wright County 100 years is a big deal, and if you look at the rest of the state and our peer counties, we look at it, we're well represented as far as percentages of people win there. It's been strong for a long time, and I just anticipate it being strong for a long time to come because we have people like you and others that step up and become ambassadors and spread the goodwill around. Thank you.
Yeah.
You did a very, very good job representing 4-H.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was wondering when you're going into politics.
Yeah.
What grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
What are your plans after school?
I actually want to study political science.
Political
Okay.
science.
How'd you know?
Okay. So in about 20 years, we'll see her as president.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just goes to prove we have the smartest kids in the Wright County
Yes.
in 4-H.
Absolutely.
First, I forgot to grab my report, annual report
All right, Virgil's up.
for Virgil.
Oh, you're late, Virgil.
Well, good morning, Chairman Gladden and Board of Commissioners. I have 2 items. I'll help get caught up here. I have 3 minutes, but I'll take 2 if it goes that well.
So we want you to scrap the whole long plan and start over again? Is that what you're going to say you're going to do?
Which plan? The first item is request acceptance of the 2017 Highway Department Annual Report. I distributed these 2 weeks ago, and so if there's any comments, I'd like to get those. We could have changes made.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion. We approve the 2017 Highway Department Annual Report.
It's, yeah, very, very nicely done. We appreciate getting that every year.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Burrell, second by Commissioner Potter. Is there any other discussions?
Mr. Chair, I did read through it, and I didn't see anything that popped out. And like a year ago, there was a couple things that popped out, and we discussed that, what they were and what they meant, just to, you know, lower my level of ignorance on what all these engineer talk is. And thank you.
Yeah, I like the way they break it down. Okay, any other discussions? No. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you. The next item is to consider approving an agreement with Hennepin County for bridge maintenance on the shared bridges we have, and this replaces the current agreement that expires December 31st, 2018. For some background on this, we have 2 agreements with Hennepin County that are ongoing. One's for bridges and one are for shared county line roads. And I came before the board on May 29th. We originally received an agreement to combine the 2 agreements from Hennepin County, and the board approved it, but it went back to Hennepin, and then within their offices, they decided they didn't want one combined agreement, so they never approved it. So that agreement that we approved in May is void. It was never approved. So they sent a new one today just to approve the one that's expiring this year for the bridges. The one for the county shared roads expires in another year, so I'll bring that next year sometime for that one.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to support the resolution with the bridge agreements with Hennepin County.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Vetch. Is there any other discussions?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Virgil, in reference to the Hanover Bridge, I mean, at some point in time when Brockton Avenue interchange does get constructed and they build, Hennepin County's already got that county road matching up to there. Has there been talk at Hennepin County's end about the future of that road? Granted, it'll be after 2023. It won't happen that quick, but when that comes to fruition, we're going to see a marked increase in traffic on that bridge. And it doesn't appear like it's wide enough to accommodate 4 lanes.
It's not.
So is there a way to put the caveat in there that, you know, when you're planning this one, cause and effect, let's think about in the future when it's viable and makes sense, what's the long-term plan on this bridge?
Yeah, it would have to be replaced to accommodate 4 lanes of traffic, just like our Highway 19 from Hanover to St. Michael, that shows in the future that being a 4-lane highway. So that would just have to be programmed in.
Yeah, because why I make that point is that the city of Hanover has made comments on 19 already, and the increased traffic because now their people are starting to get riled up about the time it takes.
Yeah.
And I did make mention that when Brockton Avenue interchange comes in, if you think it's bad now, you wait till that opens up, because that's going to make it even worse. And hopefully we have a plan for that bridge at that point in time, so if we know it's going to be 2030 or wherever, at least we have it's on the plan to when it's come time. And I don't know the exact age of that bridge, and I know it's so many years before they actually look at them, but
It got redecked and widened to put in the sidewalk in 1998, I believe, or 97 or 98. So the deck's fairly new and should last until the time it needs to be widened to 4-lane.
then the other question was, is that bridge capable of being widened with the current abutment structure it is, or does it need to be completely replaced?
That'll have to be looked at.
Okay, because some can be expanded and some can't, and
We were able to do the widening for the sidewalk without redoing the abutments and things. And Hennepin shared and that'll be a shared cost when that happens, when that gets replaced.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, resolution. Commissioner Burrell?
Aye.
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 Resolution carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, wait a minute. No.
Oh, no, we have a timed agenda item.
It's Bob Hevela.
We have a timed item at 9:30.
Do have a
Oh, we
public
do?
hearing at
Yes.
9:30.
Another ditch.
Another ditch, another day.
We have a
Chair,
ditch
members of
this
the board, here in your capacity as the Drainage Authority on CD 22, this is a continued public hearing on the viewing report because the viewers added additional property to the drainage system as benefited acres. Notice was mailed out to that additional property owner. So, Mr. Chair, at this point in time, we could open up for public comment.
I'll open up for public comment. Does anybody have anything they would like to state? Open up. Anybody? Does staff have anything they need to enter into record at all?
Mr. Chair, no, we don't have anything further to enter into the record at this point in time. Hearing no public comment, staff would recommend a motion to close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing. So motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Burrell. Any other discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All the same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
And then, Mr. Chair, we do have a resolution on CD 22. We can either hold it off till the end of Bob's items, or we can adopt that now if you want, along with the resolution on CD 34.
I'd say you're here. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chair, staff at the direction of the board at the last hearing, again acting in your capacity as the Drainage Authority for CD 22, drafted a resolution which incorporated the comments that we received at the public hearing and have provided comment from the board to those comments. The resolution is before you for the findings and order accepting the viewer's report and adopting redetermined benefits on County Ditch 22. And for any questions the board may have.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Can I get a motion?
I will move that resolution.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Hewson, second by Commissioner Vetch. Any other discussions? Hearing none. Commissioner Burrell?
Aye.
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 All right, and then, Mr. Chair, acting in your capacity as the Drainage Authority for County Ditch 34, at the direction of the board, staff has drafted a findings and order accepting the viewer's report and adopting redetermined benefits for County Ditch 34. This resolution, at the direction of the board, incorporates the comments that we received during the public hearing, and also in italics incorporates the board's response to those comments. At this point in time, the record in this matter is closed, and staff would stand for any further questions that the board may have on CD 34.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from County Ditch.
Resolution.
Adopt the resolution for the Ditch 34 viewers report.
Second.
It wasn't reviewers report, redetermination of benefits, right?
Yes, viewers report for redetermination.
Viewers report redetermination.
Okay.
Benefits, yeah.
Motion by Commissioner Fetch, second by Commissioner Potter. Resolution, Commissioner Burrell?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you.
Resolution carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Hevola, Auditor Treasurer.
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. So I have a few things on the agenda today for Bob. The first item is an informational summary of credit card transactions accepted through September 30th, 2018. I've got Lindsay here to give that update. She has been a key player in the credit card acceptance process at Wright County here.
I had requested this. I thought it'd be kind of neat just to find out how many people are actually using the credit cards.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. As a summary, so far, since we went live, the oldest or longest accepting departments have been just over 2 months, which would be the sheriff and surveyor. We've got about 100 transactions as of last week. In total, we've got $65,000 accepted at the county in 2.5 months. 581 transactions. The most used with only 6 days worth of activity is the License Bureau. 154 transactions went through there.
Wow.
With updated information as of this morning, we've now got 834 transactions. And again, it's still the License Bureau with the most transaction. It's very well received by the public.
I just thought,
Fantastic.
it took so long to get this in place, I just thought it would be interesting to
Only
see.
5 years.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yay.
All right, the next item on the agenda is to approve an amendment to increase the Wright County Fair Board annual appropriation for an amount of $100, which is equal to the amount of a permit fee required by planning and zoning. I don't know if Lindsay wants to speak on that a little bit, otherwise I think Lee also might have
I
some.
could just summarize it real
Sure.
quick, because in the past, we have always just waived the fee, just said you don't have to pay it. Planning and zoning didn't really have a structure apparently to just not pay it, so they're just gonna go ahead and pay it, and then we'll give them an extra $100, so they won't have their fee. It was a big thing to the fair board. Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the extra $100 in the budget for the fair for their building permit.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Burrell, second by Commissioner Potter. Any other discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. And then the minutes. We didn't approve those, did we?
We did not. These are the minutes when I was here last time that were missed out of the packet, and so now I am here for your approval on the Ditch 22 public hearing that occurred on September 11th. Need approval of those minutes.
I'll move approval of the Ditch 22 committee minutes from
Second.
September 11th.
Motion by Commissioner Houston. Did you second that, Commissioner Burrell?
Yep.
I wasn't sure if you seconded or if you coughed.
I thought Chris was gonna be done. I spoke over her, I apologize.
Any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries
I
unanimous.
just didn't want Derek to beat me to that sentence.
Oh, all right.
And then in addition, same thing for the minutes for County Ditch 34 public hearing, again on September 11th. Looking for approval of those minutes.
Oh, I'll move forward the minutes from Ditch 34.
I'll second.
I just can't understand the enthusiasm of hacking regarding these ditches.
You have ditches now, too.
A half a mile.
Yeah. 200 feet. Yeah, it's not even half a mile.
200 feet?
200 feet.
All right.
Look at how quick Lindsay ran for the door. You know?
I had a discussion with Otsego last night. Won't be around much longer. All right, we have a discussion, or no more discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
And that's all I got, as item 5 was taken care of by Greg just a bit ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee of the Whole. Coordinator Kelly, I didn't ask you earlier. Would you take this, please?
Sure. Just a sec to pull.
He's going to go through it line by line because it's not like it's a small.
All right, pop quiz. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee of the Whole met on the 24th of September with all commissioners, myself in attendance, along with quite a few representatives from the various departments, as well as representatives from BKV Group. I'll do a quick overview as we do have a fairly long set of minutes here. Basically, we received a presentation, Anthony and Wright, talking about the discussion that we had at previous meetings regarding the design of the potential new government center or administrative building, whatever we decide to call it. So they talked a little bit about trends and concepts exploration. We had a principal presentation that was given showing off some key strategy features, some ideas for planning and how to best use space for both public and staff experiences. Looked at a few case studies, including some government buildings, the Pentagon, some in Canada, and some others in Washington, D.C. Discussed a little bit some of the trends you're seeing in public spaces regarding access and security. Again, about the public experience and the best ways to use your spaces to make it a destination, and also branding for your county or community. Some other design trends that are going on right now that were displayed regarding variety and choice, giving people options on ways where they can work and how they can do their work. Mobility is also a trend right now with people teleworking or using different spaces to get their work done throughout the day. I talked a little bit about some of the design spaces that they had worked on where they utilized the concept of physical agility, which is you design a space that can easily be converted into different spaces as needs change or as departments restructure. Talked a few other things about most efficient use of space, ways to save money in designing, leveraging technology, aligning it with the culture and identity of the county. Are a few items that we laid over to future meetings, talking about operational improvements and workstation planning, but we did move into a discussion about site plan concepts and what the current plans have been for the site out north of town and how they've looked at placing a potential new administration center out there. We talked about a west plan and a south plan. We have the pros and cons listed here in the minutes. Quite a few considerations, of course, regarding the geothermal fields that are currently out there on site, access to the public, streamlining of operations, as well as considerations we need to make for sanitary and storm sewer, incoming water, and parking spaces. So kind of after discussion, BKV was kind of given some direction to move forward. I think we kind of like the, I believe it was the south plan the best, which would put it closer to the site that's currently the construction site for the Justice Center. So this meeting was, didn't have a recommendation, just kind of listed as informational only. We'll have an additional meeting later this week, Committee of the Whole for the board to discuss further. So Mr. Chair, a summary of the minutes. The PowerPoints from that meeting are attached. You have quite a long set of minutes and attachments there.
And they are all just theoretical ideas.
Correct.
There's nothing written in stone on what we're planning on doing.
Really, the intent of the presentation was to kind of show what's out there in the world. A lot of the examples that were given were private sector entities, which it's all over the map. There's some really, I'll call creative things that are being done. Certainly not some things that we may do as we look forward in design, but it's good to know what's out there, so.
All right, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and the recommendations from the committee of the whole from September 24th.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Vetch, second by Commissioner Potter. Any other discussions? Just want to call attention to everybody on the last couple of pages regarding dates and future dates. Thursday being this one at 11 o'clock.
Are you guys interested in maybe coming together and just doing like pizzas or something? Because Lee's going to be going straight from 11 o'clock or from 10:15 till 3, and maybe just doing something and eating while we go through it. Because we're going to be from there 11 to. We're going to be there from 11 to 3 in that meeting, and Lee's going to be there from 10 to 3. I don't know if just doing lunch over.
No, I think we could do that.
Kind of work with.
But we can discuss that
later. But I said I'd try since it was on there since you're all right here.
Yep.
All right.
We had a motion, a second. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Right.
Motion carries unanimous.
Now we're up to the
Clarity and Hood. Sorry. I was never a very good talker.
Mr. Chair, presented in front of you is a further revised proposal. I know you've had other versions in front of you. After discussion at our past meeting where this was laid over, we did make connection with Flaherty and Hood to make a revisal of the proposal. I thought it'd be good to, we have two gentlemen with us today, Mr. Bradley Peterson and Shane Zart from Flaherty and Hood. If there are any questions, I thought it'd be good for them to be here to answer any questions you may have. I appreciate with the long meeting, they've been very patient. So thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Chair, I just first of all, I want to say, Brad, Shane, thanks for coming out here. We've made numerous modifications. I've explained this case many times here. I'm hoping that you will support me here in this effort to move forward with this contract so we can begin some discussions. I'll kind of leave it at that because I've kind of exhausted you at about 2 other times with this information. With that, I'm just going to start off and say I'm going to make a motion to approve the contract with Flaherty and Hood, and I'll look for a second.
I'll second that, and I'd just like to make a comment that, you know, I think that this is this current contract would be in keeping with what a couple of the members of the board, you know, narrowing the scope to utility taxes and utility host community issues.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Vetch, a second by Commissioner Houston. Any other discussion? Commissioner Potter?
I thought we'd already voted on this last time around.
All right.
Goes forward.
You're okay with the new narrowing it down?
As far as I was understanding, we'd already voted on this last time around.
No, it was tabled.
Okay.
All right. No further discussions?
Well, I think we should have the guys come up and say something before we.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we wasted all the morning. I didn't know if they even want to speak.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect to Commissioner Burrell, are we on the clock when they come up here and talk?
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
No.
You gentlemen have a lot of good information.
Mr. Chair, I would like to hear from.
Yeah, I would
I
too.
think that would be nice.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. My name is Bradley Peterson. I'm a shareholder partner at Flaherty and Hood, here with my colleague Shane Zart. This has been a well-discussed issue with the board, but we are very pleased to be here in front of you. We are eager to assist you with this utility property tax issue. As you know, and as our proposal points out, you know, we have worked with a number of cities, including the city of Monticello, on these issues. And then we're contacted by Commissioner Vetch and staff about being eyes and ears for Wright County on these issues as well. There's really nobody else who has as much familiarity with this particular topic, the interplay between the utilities and the property tax issues. And so with that, we're happy to be here and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I actually do, because I think you know, I mean, because you almost want to get some direction from us, I would think, too. I know Derek has had conversation with you, but I don't think we can stop the, like, a little bit of a devaluation out there. But I think what we don't want, and what I don't anyway, is the get the rug pulled out from under you kind of thing. So if we can have more consistency in it, and I think the worst thing that we could end up with is a lawsuit type thing, to where, like with the Enbridge thing up north, where now these counties are paying back all the money that they got for what, 5 or 7 years, whatever, and it's really tough on those. And I think that would be my concern anyway. I guess I'd have to speak to the rest of the board, but.
Mr. Chair, and the other piece that they're going to be a tremendous amount of help with us is Excel's really pushing hard to make the change to a production style tax evaluation from a property value evaluation style. And with that change, it's going to be a shift in the balloon as to money that was collected and went to Wright County might be collected from Excel and dispersed amongst the entire grid. So that'll be a definitely shift in property taxes for us within the county. There is some transition aid that was in the previous piece of legislation. Now they're scrapping that previous piece of legislation potentially and starting over with a new piece of legislation. And we want to make sure that we are at the table so that if there is transition aid put in there, that in the language of this bill is complex in the least. So and with that, that's where these gentlemen can help us at least make sure that we're made whole if possible.
And Commissioner Borrell, your point is well taken, and it's really two issues. You do have the valuation issue that's ongoing, and you referenced the Enbridge case. You know, I think that the utilities, at least currently, are slightly differently situated in terms of where Enbridge was and how they had preserved their rights over time. But that will be a future consideration. And then you do have the potential of legislation that upends the whole system of how these facilities are valued that Commissioner Vetch discussed. And that's an open question where that will go. There is, you know, lots of discussion in the last 3 years at the legislature on changing that valuation method to more of a production tax. It remains to be seen, and I think there's a lot of interest on the part of Xcel Energy and the other utilities in the state in moving that direction. I think some of the communities and Wright County needs to be part of that discussion. You know, may want to really take a hard look at that, because it will impact certainly your future.
Okay, and then I did have one more thing, Mr. Chair. Because you also work for the city of Monticello, right? So let's say you're lobbying a legislature. I don't want to have Monticello billed for an hour and us billed for the same hour. You would not do that, right?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
And we want to make sure that it benefits both communities.
Well, no, that's fine, but I mean, because I would be okay with just putting some money in the pot with Monticello. I think would be serving the same purpose, but this, I guess, gets a little more money, yeah, I guess. And we do have slightly
Monticello is not directly contracted with them. They're contracted with them through the Coalition of Utility Cities.
Oh, I see, okay.
And that's the reason we couldn't, they weren't open to us joining the Coalition of Utility Cities. That
Okay.
wasn't really an option for us.
But the money that you're doing with us is over and above anything you're doing with them. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed.
All right, any other discussions?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Potter?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gentlemen, it's you know, it's been a little contentious for a couple weeks here about what the scope and duties are, but I do firmly believe that you need to be at the table, because Xcel will continue to change positions to see which narrative fits them the best. And you think you're going one way, and all of a sudden they're going another way, and we need to be at the table. You know, and that is a fact. We need to be there to know the impact and try to make it so whatever direction they shift to, we can react to in a timely manner, so we don't end up like the Enbridge thing. Because as far as I read, they kind of put their head in the sand for a long time, thought nothing was going to happen. All of a sudden, here it is. And I do work with other lobbyists, and you definitely need somebody there that understands the language and the legislation to make sure you're protected long term.
What's your favorite saying? If you're not at the table,
you're on the menu.
Yep. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, fellow board members, for your support. This is a great step in helping myself and staff to be able to continue to monitor this issue and hopefully mitigate any repercussions to the county.
Yeah, big one. What did you say that it benefits the city? Is it 65% of their budget?
79%.
79%. Somebody asked me last night, and they said, well, they're going to lose half. I said, if I remember correctly, it's more than half. I just couldn't remember the number. Schedule meetings with legislators. I had a conversation with Senator Anderson. He's gone the second week in December. And after that point, we're in the holidays. I don't know if you had any suggestions at all.
Mr. Chair, I did not have suggestions. Just very cognizant that the session is starting in January this year, and our timeline is closing quickly. I have not reached out to any of our legislators yet. I was hoping to get a date on the schedule to work backwards from.
Well, one I have a suggestion is we have Truth and Taxation on the 6th.
Yep.
In the evening. Would people be interested in
That afternoon.
looking at the 6th, either the morning or the afternoon? Whatever's available, whatever works for them.
If you can make the legislators here, I'll make it work. I mean,
Right, yeah. I think we could look perhaps at a morning meeting on the 6th.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At 9 a.m. I have a STMA Safe Schools meeting, and after that I'm free up until the 6 p.m.
would you be willing, if we get the legislators, if you had to skip a safe school, just if there's a lot, if we can get the legislators?
Well, yeah, it depends on their time frame, but 9 o'clock might be a little early for them when they're out of
Yeah, that's
session.
true.
They might come at 10. By that time, Safe Schools.
Good call. Yep. Good call, Michael.
Oh, good.
So shoot for the 6th and see what time of day you can make it happen. Because I have something that day, but I'll skip it for if we can make that happen, so.
Okay.
Is there any other days that you, one of the reasons I was sick in that week, because we'll be coming back from AMC.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be fresh in our minds. But again, we still want to be focusing on how it affects Wright County.
All right.
And Mr. Chair, I mean, you could perhaps even look at the 5th or the 7th also, just to give them 3 dates.
Well, the 5th, a conference closes at noon that day, or 1 o'clock.
Oh, I thought it was Tuesday.
Yeah, I thought it was just 2 days also this.
Or is that, I thought it was, or is it 2 days?
Tuesday,
Monday, Tuesday, okay, yeah, that's right, I'm thinking.
We'll be back.
In December or?
We're December.
Okay, I thought you were.
Yeah, that's right, it's Monday, Tuesday, I don't know why I thought.
Well, we'll leave it up to you. Maybe put out some feelers on what time works best for them, and then
Okay.
whoever replies first, put it out for the rest at that time.
So it sounds like the discussion is somewhere between the 5th of December to into that next week.
5th, 6th, 7th?
If possible, but primary.
Yeah, I don't want to go into the second week.
Okay.
I'd rather say 5th, 6th, or 7th.
And hopefully we can get a consensus that it'll work for most.
And we're not going to get everybody.
It's difficult too. We do have as you know, a large number of legislators, just the way our districts lay out, so.
And they have,
You're going to cater lunch for them?
I'll be more than happy.
Mr. Chair.
Provide them with donuts. Yeah.
I did want to make, and this isn't regarding the legislature's scheduling, but the way we ran the meeting, there were departments that didn't really get at the table because Human Services, I know they have a lot of issues, but they really took a lot of time. So maybe hold them to a certain schedule, bring up their top issues or something, and if there's more time at the end, bring them back. But it was, I didn't like it that we had some departments that had concerns that never got really aired out, so.
Yeah, and it's difficult with their times too. We have to figure out what we get the most bang for our buck. Which reminds me, at our retreat, I had requested cost shifts. Has anybody sent you anything yet?
I have not received anything back.
Okay.
Received some regarding the legislative items from departments, but I have not seen cost shifts.
Because I want to know cost shifts, and those are the ones we should be hammering them on.
Yeah. Yeah. But then,
Because
I
that's
know
what direct-
happened though, is we had, it went on, and then we had several legislatures that had to leave.
Yep.
And then by the time the other departments came up, there's nobody, I shouldn't say no one here, but.
Well, we have to reiterate that they only go with Wright County issues, not the counties as a whole. Make sure that they're stressing the ones that really.
Well, and I think, in all fairness, Health and Human Services, they did the Dog and Pony Show, which was the only way to explain to the legislators how that software is such a disaster.
That was a great, they did
Yeah.
the best job as far as that one went.
No, and then that was fine, but then it went on and on and on from there too, so.
Well, it takes a while. Anyway,
All right.
so we've got a date for that. We don't need a motion at this point because we don't know for sure.
We don't have a date, but that guidance does help.
And Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Potter?
Mr. Chair, I would ask the coordinator to also extend that invitation to whoever governor-elect is, to see if it's possible for them to attend also. Because whoever it is, we're going to have to deal with whoever it is.
Well, if it's a Democratic governor, I'm not sure he's going to want to come.
Yeah, and that's
beat all the
probably,
Republican people.
will be the case.
But then again, it does go without saying, whoever is the new, if representatives change, the new representative should be here. Item D, Committee of the Whole meetings regarding closed session, labor relations. I'm assuming this is regarding the opener for health insurance?
You are correct, sir. Looking at some different dates, obviously we have to negotiate that with our union groups prior to the end of the year, but we need to get a consensus from the board on where we're going. I did reach out to our labor attorney and got a few possible dates. One that was suggested was next Tuesday following the board meeting. I do know there is a conflict with at least one of the commissioners there. But we had pitched 10:30 on the 16th as an option. Otherwise, I can look at some other dates in the next couple weeks.
To the 23rd, yeah.
23rd.
Yep.
So who can't make it on the 16th?
I'm gone, but that's where I'm out of town at that conference.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
it's-
Forgot about that.
If you guys want to meet that day, it's not a big deal. I can leave my own opinion of what the matter of it.
And I would think you should do that, get a chance to look at that stuff ahead of time. And because you're the youngest one, we're not going to take much stock in it, but you should have an opinion.
But I still fight hard, so,
All right, 16 work for everybody else?
Yep.
The what day now?
The 16th?
Tuesday the
How
6th.
late do you think it will go?
I think most an hour.
Yeah.
I would anticipate we'd be done by noon for sure, so.
Okay, it won't cut into lunchtime too much.
I know that is a primary concern.
Actually, I know I
You can pack your lunch.
had a lunch meeting scheduled. It wasn't just a normal lunch.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to set the Committee of the Whole for October 16th at 10:30 a.m. to discuss the labor relations.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hewson, second by Commissioner Burrell. Any other discussions?
Just a common reminder, it is again a closed session under labor relations.
All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Board meetings of December 25th and January 1st. Well, I don't understand why you want to cancel those days.
Well, it's up to you guys, I guess. We do have the unique
Staff would love
situation.
us.
Unique situation where they fall on Tuesdays for the first time in a while, so
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to schedule a meeting outside of those dates or just cancel them.
Oh, we won't meet for over, almost 3-week gap there.
That would be the challenge, and we will absolutely have to meet, given that we'll have elections complete and certain things statutorily we need to take place in January. the last possible day is that second Tuesday, so. I'm open for discussion if you want to cancel those meetings or look at an alternate date, either before or after the 25th, or go ahead.
Wouldn't it make more sense for us to have an organizational meeting maybe on like January 2nd or 3rd, and then, but there's still canceling maybe the 29th of January or something later on in that month, because you'd still have 4 meetings that month, but you don't having to wait such a long gap in there. There's probably a statute in that. We have to meet the first Tuesday, don't we?
The legal
No, Mr.
beagle.
Chair, Commissioner Vetch, just to let you know, the new board terms don't go into effect until January 8th, the first Monday in
Okay, so
January.
they can't, okay.
So
you
they can't have an organizational meeting on the 2nd.
Okay, so then,
Why don't we just cancel them?
Just
cancel
cancel the first.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, with being that we're canceling a meeting already in December, is there anything outstanding imperative to change the 25th to the 24th, or just cancel it completely? Because I just don't want to leave any unfinished business at the end of the month, because that's a long stretch from the 11th.
I would say instead of the 24th, I would say the 27th.
We have a meeting on Thursday, the 27th?
Mr. Chair, with all due respect with that, sometimes after Christmas, people take time after that, between there and New Year's. It all depends. I mean, I'm flexible either way. I just have the concern that if something comes up, how are we going to address it at that point in time? Because that's the 18th to the end of the year is a long stretch for us not
We could-
to touch business here.
We could do something, just have a short meeting the 24th, if,
Mr. Chair, if I can make a suggestion.
just keep it light,
Cancel those 2 meetings, and then when we, tentatively consider the 24th, but if we look at the 18th, and our coordinator is going to know how much business, we may,
Fair enough.
we may have.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Why don't we, we'll deal with the 24th later.
Because we're not having any committee on the 26th, I'm guessing.
Actually, the housekeeping is the next item there.
Oh,
We're
sorry.
looking to go down to one committee date for those, but
I'll do a motion to cancel the December 25th and the January 1st board meetings.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Brow, second by Commissioner Hewson. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
At least that only happens about once every decade.
I mean, not very
very
often.
infrequent.
And nothing says we can't do it on January 2nd either, is there?
No, you just can't have an organizational meeting.
No, I realize that, but, so if something happened on the 18th, nothing is happening on the 18th, if something comes up the week of the 24th, we can always still post it for the 2nd,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Doesn't have to actually be published if it's 3 days. 3 business days?
Not including Sunday.
Just Sunday, or holidays. Okay. So that does give us some flexibility too, if necessary. All right, committee meetings, schedules for November and December.
Mr. Chair, we've traditionally gone down to a single committee meeting in those months. Typically, we've used one of the middle Wednesdays and scheduled that, so.
Mr. Chair, if I
I don't know
could
if
just
you
throw
have
this in there.
comments.
Staff, as part of a ditch issue, is eyeing the 27th of November for a possible date of a committee of the whole for a ditch issue.
November 27th, that Tuesday?
Yeah, the 27th, that Tuesday. Either at 10:30 or at 1.
27th.
Just for your consideration.
Mr. Chair, I do have crime lab at 2, but I wouldn't necessarily need to be there.
What, you want to give up an opportunity to discuss ditches?
No, I don't want to, but.
Oh, okay.
Especially being in Otsego.
So the 27th is not going to work? So I'm going to put it on my calendar. Is that what you're saying?
For what?
Not at 1. I mean, I could do it at 10:30, but.
Okay.
Well, and again, this would be for the Personnel Committee, Ways and Means, those types of items. If we needed additional committee of the wholes, we could schedule those as needed.
Mr. Chair, if we did just set 1, it's difficult to set it on the 3rd Wednesday because of
Thanksgiving.
well, for people being on the radio. So it would either have to be earlier than like 8 o'clock in the morning if you set it on the 21st, or else I'd suggest just doing it on the 14th and the 12th.
14th. Just,
I think those two days are pretty good.
so November 14th and December 12th is what we're going to do?
That's what I think. Does that work for anybody else? Anybody else have any problems with that?
No.
If people know when they are, then they know when to get the
Right,
items to us.
that's why we like to try and address it now, so people have a little lead time. As you can tell, when we don't have a board meeting or a committee meeting, it can throw a wrench into people's schedules.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to set committee day for November 14th and December 12th.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Hewson, second by Commissioner Burrell. Any other discussions? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Advisory Committee, Advisory Board updates. Remind everybody we have a leadership meeting at 10:30, I believe.
That is correct, yes.
Commissioner Burrell?
I'm okay.
Well, a lot's happened since the last time we had advisory committee, advisory board updates, because we didn't have time last time. So I won't go into all the meetings I've been to, but just to highlight that we had great discussion at the Mayor's Association meeting last month, and our employee, our department's retreat out at Bertram just went really well, I thought. It was great information, and I felt people were able to speak up and to express their opinions, and I really enjoyed that. Also, maybe you want to talk a little bit about the township officers meeting, but we had Derek, Commissioner Vetch worked with staff and put together a PowerPoint, which he presented both at the Mayor's Association meeting and the Township Officers meeting to kind of inform everyone where we've been and where we're going as far as how we arrived at the budget that we arrived at. And people were very appreciative, both places. And thank you for working hard to put that together, because it makes we want people to be educated. We want everyone to be informed. We want to be transparent, and that's the best way to do it. After they get understand how we got to this point, they get it. They pretty much would have made the same decisions. And comments I got afterwards was, I'm glad that you're planning. I'm glad that you're, working on more long range. So that was good. And I've been to a couple of Safe Schools meetings and a bunch of other meetings, but I won't go into that. I'll just invite everyone. The Buffalo Police Department is having an open house on Saturday the 13th from 9 a.m. to noon, and that's at the Buffalo Police Station. They're going to have the free donuts and coffee.
But I would assume that'll be on the Buffalo website.
Yep. So, that'll be, and they're also, Bounce Back is having a dinner resource fair. It's on, it doesn't seem suicide has become all too commonplace, so they're going to have a talk on that. That's going to be at the Buffalo Performing Arts Center on the 10th, which is tomorrow, from 5:30. Resource fair and a 6:30 program. There's also next Tuesday, the 16th, Bounce Back is having a discussion, it's a Monticello speaker series, Silent Impact, Influence Through Purpose, Persistence, and Passion, with Joe Schmidt. So he's, the broadcaster, and that's going to be a great event too. It's free. Monticello High School Auditorium on Tuesday the 16th from 7 to 8 p.m. That's it.
In the interest of time, all I did was, I presented to Otsego last night the budget. Other than a few quirks, it worked out fine.
Mr. Chair, I appreciate board members and collaborating with me on putting that presentation together for the township officers and helping go through that, and with the Mayor's Association. Also, we had our Bertram Advisory meeting, which we ended up holding off because our traffic study wasn't done, so we didn't have much to discuss because that was the big piece that we were going to discuss at our Bertram Advisory meeting. Otherwise, we set at the East Regional Juvenile Detention Center, we set our rates for beds for the next year, which was a slight increase of 5%, but that is actually pretty flat because it's slight because it's averaging 1.5 over the last 6 years because we were flat and did no increase in previous years. So that would be all I have.
Mr. Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First off, I'd like to thank Commissioner Vetch, fellow commissioners, and Julie Foshing for putting together that PowerPoint with all that pertinent information. I think that's exactly what the public wants to hear from us, is how we got there, how we're going forward, what was going on, and where the money's going, because it's hard to communicate that sometimes because they don't follow along all these meetings, but that was a perfect way to get through it, because anybody has questions, they can come back at us later.
And I have been telling people that it'll be on the county website. It's not on there yet, is it?
It's not on there yet. Hopefully
I told them probably by the end of the week it would be.
But it's good. It's something about the transparency we're moving forward so people can see where the money's going, where it comes from, where it goes, how we got here, what's going on, which is good. You know, the other week I was in D.C. Petitioning for $10 million out from the federal build grant.
You didn't bring it back with you? I thought you took an extra suitcase.
Yet.
Oh, I thought you took an extra suitcase out there with you.
I'd like to have brought the check back that day. But a couple things, they had 470 different projects apply, which I'm sure that gets whittled down to probably the top 180-ish. Get there. We're asking for $10 million, not 25, which is the max. I'm feeling pretty confident that we put together a good presentation. Again, kudos to our President Steve Bott and our Vice President Adam Nafstead and our lobbying firm to help set up the meetings with the congressmen and senators, and that we did have a sit-down meeting with USDOT, and my new best friend Anthony Bedell was in attendance, sat there through the whole thing, which was, I was told he never sits in those things, and he did remember me, so that's a good thing too, hopefully. So looking forward to good news, because I'm feeling confident, because part of the L in the build is leverage, and we're leveraging basically $300 million towards this, and we're not asking for the max. So this just makes it so instead of getting that stretch done in 2 different construction seasons, it'll be done in 1, which, again, thank you to David and Deborah Bistadu for coming there as our business people to reiterate the impacts of construction on business and how it hurts. And we also reiterated with and let them know with St. Michael with 241, they decided to do it 1 year, get the pain over with instead of spread it out for 2, because it has a serious impact on businesses. So it was good, and we also got congratulated by our congressional leaders that they felt that the 94 Coalition is one of the most organized, best run that they've come across. We've had that the state tell us that, and we've now had the federal tell us that. And that's, again, for leadership on that. And I'm just one of the horses pulling the wagon in direction. But it's so far, it seems like a winning combination there. The other item, Mr. Chair, is I-94 West Corridor Coalition is having the groundbreaking ceremony this Friday, October 12th, at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock at the Albertville Premium Outlets, 3rd phase, the east side. And it's just basically to celebrate receiving $56 million. We know Commissioner Zelli will be there, Governor Dayton, hard to say whether he shows up or not, or maybe somebody from the staff. And I'm sure that because it's a groundbreaking there, you will have most every legislative person in this district will be there, because it's a photo op.
I signed up not for the photo op, but just to be there.
Yeah. So everybody's welcome to come and be part of that. And that's what I have, Mr. Chair.
Wear your long johns, snowsuit.
It's going to be outside. I didn't know it said Albertville Mall. I wasn't sure where, but.
Outside. Coordinator Kelly, do you have anything?
A few quick things. Last week I was at the County Administrators, County HR Directors Joint Conference where we presented on Wright County's email management plan and records retention. I don't know, a lot of people approached us and said some great information, and some of them went, what is this? We should be doing this. So very educational. I'm thinking we're going to get a lot of follow-up phone calls for that. I did get elected to the County Administrators Executive Committee, so I'm on their board, which has been a nice opportunity to get closer to everything that's going on in St. Paul and around the state. So spent yesterday the bulk of the day in meetings with the core group team for ERP and the building of the RFP for that. So work on that is moving forward. We're looking at having that RFP out on the streets late October, early November. So it's moving forward.
Congratulations on your, new position.
Thank you.
So obviously, we're not keeping him busy enough if he ran for another position or something.
I was asked to continue, so must be doing something right.
Anything else?
That is it. No.
Well, congratulations on that. Something I was going to say. Do you expensive attorneys have anything you want to say? All right. He can't hear me anyway.
And Mr. Chair, the last item, the biggest news of the last couple weeks is Captain Derringer won the Pine Eat contest in Maple Lake. Picture in the paper, not a very flattering picture, but he's on the front page.
We are adjourned at 10:25.